It was a fine weekend. I watched Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I enjoyed it. Here are my thoughts about it. Then I took this weekend as an opportunity to brush up on the basic concepts of machine learning. And I was able to log it through a video. We discussed what is machine learning, different categories of machine learning algorithms, and the overall process behind training and testing a typical machine learning algorithm. And then I encountered something amazing. We have another application of machine learning, that is artificial intelligence, which I explored recently. And it totally blew my mind away. Stability AI is an organization who expertise in creating open AI models for image, video, audio, 3D and biology. Runway is one another organization who is working extensively on making the content creation as easy as it could be, utilizing the advancements happening in the area of computer graphics and machine learning. I think it's pretty cool of these folks with the kind of directive and with the kind of goals they are working toward. That's pretty cool. So these two organizations came together in creating this amazing thing called Stable Diffusion. This project lets you create images out of just text prompts. That is, you feed it with some text input and it's going to generate images out of it. As cool as it is already, then came this developer and changed the game. He brought in a plugin called AI Render for Blender, which is a free plugin you can download and use. AI and Blender together, I think that's freaking bonkers. And while checking out what other creators were able to generate out of this AI Render plugin, it totally blew my mind. They are so impressive, so I thought we should definitely give it a shot. Let's first set up this add-on into Blender. So all you have to do is visit this URL. I'll be sharing all of these URLs in the description. You can go ahead and check it out. If you want to support the developer, you can go ahead with this contribution here, and all you have to do is just purchase this thing. You'd need a free account here. I've already signed in. Once you download the add-on from the site, you'll basically get a zip file out of it. Once you have the zip file, we need to install it into Blender. For that, in Blender, we'll just go to Edit, Preferences, and under this install button, we'll just click it. And once you select that zip file here, it's going to install that add-on for you. And then you can search for AI Render. So this is the add-on which gets installed, and all you have to do is just check box this thing so that it's enabled. And here we need to provide it with an API key. Now where are you going to get this API key is this on this second URL. I'll be sharing this URL as well. So once you create a free account into this, you can go ahead to this API key and you can get yourself a new API key. And all you have to do is just copy that key, go back to Blender, and under this API key field, you just need to paste that here and you're good to go. Let's just close this thing, and to validate this installation, you have to go to the render view here. And here, if you scroll down, you'll find something called AI Render. Now you need to click on this enable render. So this is now ready to render your images for you using the Stable Diffusion artificial intelligence. Now that we have the add-on in place, we need to create a basic scene. It doesn't have to be really high detailed or anything, because the AI itself is going to do its magic on it. What AI Render is going to do is it's going to run its algorithm on the image which you have selected through your camera in Blender. And then it's going to do its magic based on the algorithm which is behind it and the inputs which we feed it through our text description. I mean, how cool is that on so many different levels? While making a scene, make sure it's a little color rich, so that it's easy for the algorithm to differentiate the elements in the scene. Now what we need to do here is we need to set up a scene. So we have a very basic scene. I just downloaded and imported this free car model here, and we have an HDRI of an environment to provide it with some lighting. And this is the camera angle I've set. Now that we have our scene in place, all we have to do is just go to render, and under this AI render properties, enable AI render, and here we need to set image to size, because it's currently this add-on is not applicable, doesn't work as well on the larger picture size. So for now we are just dealing with this image size. So if we click that, it is going to set that camera into this square aspect ratio, and I think we can go ahead and tweak this a little bit more. Select the camera view here and let's just snap it to the camera view, and here we can just do this thing. Okay, I think this, let's following the rules of third, let's keep it something like this. I think this looks okay. And now comes the interesting part. This is where you have certain presets defined. Now you can select any preset from this. Pretty cool looking presets here, I must say. And this is where you're going to input your text. So for now, what I'm doing is I'll just go with something surreal, maybe. Let's try that. And then here we need to input our text prompts. It could be anything. So there are again a couple of sites you can visit to get a good understanding of what kind of text prompts would be better to use. You can use something like futuristic, elegant maybe. So imagination is the limit here. You can try all the word combinations you want. Just going to go with something called cyberpunk maybe. Cyberpunk car lighting maybe. Let's try that, how that comes out. And we need to tweak certain parameters under this advanced options here. Image similarity, you can set it as you want. The more image similarity means the final outcome would be something more similar. Whereas you can go funky with decreasing the image similarity as well, so that we get a totally different image out of it. You have steps. Now steps here means number of iterations. Now iterations itself is a concept of machine learning. And prompt strength, I think I'm not going to change it a lot. So for now, I think I'm going to go with image similarity of 0.5. That is, it is halfway similar. And here I'm just going to new image. Let's do one thing. Let's actually render this image first, so that it will have the data to work on. And as you can see, this is the image, the normal image which we got. This is what we have gotten, cyberpunk car lighting. Let's go a little bonker with this again. Let's go with something Casper David, whatever it is. Let's go with futuristic car design maybe. It's going to take some time. This is what we have gotten. I think it's going really wild and I'm really liking it. Let's try something else as well. Noir line, suspense, damaged car, suspense, something like that. And let's generate new image from last render. Again, pretty cool looking renders, I must say. So this is how you can go ahead and try certain iterations. You can try certain variations. And imagination is the limit here. If you're not into creating any specific scene or something, we can do import an image and work on that. For that, let's just delete this queue. And now to bring in an image into Blender, you need to make sure that you have an add-on installed. For that, just go to Edit, Preferences, and search for Images. We have this predefined add-on in Blender, import images as planes. You just need to check that so that it is enabled. So now all you have to do is Shift A, images as planes. And here you can go ahead and select the image which you downloaded. I downloaded a couple of images from Unsplash. Let's import that image here. So we have this image here now. Let's go to the render view so that we get visibility of the image. So this is basically the image we have. And let's just do one thing. Let's scale it up if we disable the grid. And here's our image. Now we need to work on the camera. Now again, let's select the camera here. Let's go to the camera view. Let's go to the camera view and let's move this camera accordingly. So as you can see, we have an image imported in Blender, and now we can use this stable diffusion on this. Let's go to render and under AI, enable AI render, set image size so that it snaps to that. So this is basically our camera. We actually need to scale up the image, I believe, so that it covers the entire camera. So now we have this camera visibility on this, and I think we can go ahead and render this out. We can try certain presets here. Again, let's go with something called this thing, and under the text prompts, let's go with stylized matrix, something like that. And under the advanced options, I'm going to let it all be for now, and then we can select. Let's just do one thing. Let's just render this image first so that it has something to work on. Once we have that image, we can go ahead and close this out. We can go ahead and so this is what we have gotten. So the image itself is totally different from what we fed it. Maybe it's because of the stylized preset. Let's just change this preset for now. Let's go with something surreal, maybe dark neon glow, and you can go ahead and under the operation, new image from that thing. So it's going to take a couple of moments to perform that level of iterations. Some pretty wild looking pictures we are getting. Maybe we are not able to match maybe we are not able to work with the keywords in a correct way. So for that, let's just again try to change this thing, dark room. Some pretty cool looking art we are getting. Definitely doesn't match our original photo, but we still are getting some pretty incredible and pretty artistic looking visuals out of this, and I think that itself is so cool. The thing is, if you're using this Dream Studio API key, it's going to grant you 200 generations. As you can see, we have generated 6 images, so we still have 194 generations still left. We can go ahead and experiment more with all of the different scenes, all of the different setups, and all of the different keywords. And let's just have a look at this nodes here. If you can see, we have an additional node here under this AI render. Now this is where all of the magic is happening. So basically what's happening here on a technical level is we have an image in camera frame, and once we trigger out a request using this AI render, this image data is going to go to the cloud servers of the Dream Studio, wherever this machine learning algorithm is hosted. Cloud architecture is really powerful because I was able to get these renders, and once that algorithm is able to get an image output out of it, that is being transferred again to our Blender scene here, and this is what we get to see as the output. I think that's the next step of evolution we are looking at when it comes to creative arts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try creating certain other renders out of this. I have a couple of other scenes which I created already. I'm going to use those. I'm going to create some renders using some different presets and different kinds of keywords, and let's see how those turn out to be. Okay. I think the renders came out pretty cool. Now looking at these renders, I got an idea for another video. How about we create a short video for a poem using the images generated using stable diffusion add-on in Blender, and we'll feed it with the words from the poem itself. I think that could be an interesting thing to try. I'm gonna work on that and I'll share the output with you guys once it's done. So that's all for this one. I really do hope you enjoyed the video, you found it interesting. And please like, share and subscribe if you did. Till we meet again in the next one. Cheers!